I welcome you all in the next video tutorial of the pharmaceutical microbiology. So in this video tutorial we are going to start an important unit of the pharmaceutical microbiology, that is year number 4. So far we have completed year number 1, we have completed year number 2 also, as well as year number 3. And some component of the unit 4, that is the laminar airflow, that we have already covered in our previous units. So this unit will also cover some of the content of the previous units, that is the laminar airflow. So I request you to watch the previous videos and then watch this video of unit number 4. So let's start with the aseptic area. What is this aseptic area means, and what are the different type of equipments used in this area, and what are the various sources of contamination, how the contamination may take place intentionally or unintentionally also in the aseptic area. So let's start. So I found this PPT from the slide share. So first of all, I acknowledge this PPT because this PPT basically it gives us a brief idea of the aseptic area, and it's written in a very simple language. So I respectfully acknowledge this slide share for providing this valuable information. So let's start. The general terminology associated with the aseptic area. What do you mean by the asepsis or the aseptic means? So nowadays I'm repeatedly saying this thing. Now we are using hand sanitizers. So that is the process of basically we provide it provide us protection against different type of microorganism as well as some of viruses also. So asepsis is the practice to reduce or eliminate contaminant such as bacteria, viruses, fungi as well as parasite from entering the operative field in the surgery or medicine to prevent it from infection. But in general sense, you can forget this if you not able to understand. It is very simple. Sterile means free of any contaminants, and contaminants are produced by bacteria, viruses, fungi, etc. And this particular area is known as the aseptic area, and this area may be in operation theater, it may be present in your laboratory, it may be present in the plant tissue culture lab, in the microbiological lab, or maybe any other environment. So if you talk about the sources of contamination, so we have a atmosphere contamination is there, maybe air is contaminated, raw materials are contaminated, the equipment you are using they might contain million or trillions of microorganisms, because we know in our hand also, in our hairs, right now I'm talking to you and my clothes are full of microorganisms, so contaminations are always there. So if we talk about the atmosphere is unable to support microbial growth. Basically air may contaminate that particular area. Okay, suppose this is a photograph of a person that is sneezing or coughing. If they have a symptoms of TB in a particular patient, and that particular patient, if even in case of this COVID, why we are using masks to avoid this type of contamination? We are using masks. It's a simple thing. Yes, all over we are full of microorganisms. Improper hygiene may result into the microorganisms also. So if you talk about the raw material, yes, water, if you are using water as a raw material, it might contain microorganisms. So if you talk about the equipment, the working areas or the working surfaces where you are using your experiment, suppose you are using a slab or a stainless steel shelf, that might contain microorganisms. So first of all, you have to sterilize it, disinfect it. Only then you will able to perform your experiment. So method of preservation of contamination in a particular area includes protective clothing is there, cleansing and disinfection. This is very important, and we have covered the disinfection in the detailed part. Environmental control, air supply should be there. We use HEPA filters. We have already covered this point. Suppose there's door, window and services. So we will prefer those type of doors, windows and other services that are basically tight fitting doors, okay, self closing should be there, airlock should be there, effectively sealed pipes, there is no holes, etc., so as to avoid any contamination from the air. Ceiling light should be preferred, and we should avoid in a particular aseptic area. So what is this? Basically these are the requirements of what? Aseptic area. So in the aseptic area one should avoid these sinks, drains and switches, etc. And if you want to work in that particular environment, we can say in aseptic area, you need this type of clothing. Just nowadays we are heard at PPE kit. So this is a personal protection equipment is there. So this type of equipment should be, clothing should be preferred. We have a gloves, cap, safety glasses should be there. Everything should be covered. Now tell me, where is the septic area? Septic area is maintained inside this cabinet. Here is the septic area is provided. Yes, simple. So for cleaning and disinfection, we use different type of disinfections like ionic and non-ionic surfactants, alkaline detergents, etc. We have already covered in this detail. So yes, we have a different concept. Environmental control, and in the environmental control, we have the concept of the class 100 area, or you can say class 100 clean room, class. Then other classes are also there, like in this case also, like 10,000 clean room, class 10,000 clean room. So what is this? If you look at the concept of the clean room, just by go to the Wikipedia or some website, if you found the concept of the clean room, it is clearly written that a clean room is a facility ordinarily utilized as a part of the specialized industrial production, or it is used in the scientific research, including the manufacture of different type of pharmaceutical. Even it is used in the manufacturing of the integrated circuits, LCD, etc. So basically these clean rooms are designed to maintain, this is important, extremely low level of the particulates such as dust, airborne organisms or vaporized particles. And this is important. So they are basically, clean room have a cleanliness level which is quantified by number of particles, this is important, number of particles per cubic meter at a predetermined molecule measure. So clean room are classified according to the number and size of the particles permitted per volume of air. So large numbers like class 100 or class 1000 refer to a particular type of code. Just see this. So what is mean by this FED STD 209E? This is nothing but this is an airborne particulate cleanliness classes in the clean room, and it was a standard. We can say that it was a federal standard. It was standard given by a particular agency, and it denotes the number of particle of the size 0.5 micrometer or large permitted to per cubic foot of air. This is important. So what is this area? It denotes the number of particle of size 0.5 micrometer of particle size or larger permitted per cubic foot of air. So next is the air splice. For air splice we use HEPA filter, and we know this minimum particular collection efficiency of the HEPA filter is 99.97% for 0.3 micrometer diameter particles. And yes, we need laminar airflow. Okay, horizontal as well as vertical. So these all are the requirements for the aseptic area. So I hope this will give you a brief idea what are we going to complete or cover in this unit about the aseptic area. So thank you for your patience and listening. I respectfully acknowledge all the sources I have used to prepare this video, especially Google Images, SlideShare, open education resources, etc. So do not share this video. Thank you for your patience and listening. I welcome you all in the part 2 video of the aseptic area. So in this video tutorial, we are going to see a layout of the aseptic area, how this aseptic area looks like, and how this aseptic area is physically, or we can say the physically present in the industry or pharmaceutical plant or pharmaceutical industry or pharmaceutical unit. So let's start. So for this video, particularly I am using the reference of the Pharma Academy, and I found this video very useful. So I also request you to go by this video. You will clear all your doubts regarding the designing of the particular area. And always remember, if the question will ask by the examiner in the final examination about the septic area, you have to draw this layout of the septic area. You must know what are the different components of this septic area. So that's what it is look like. So you have to draw this diagram also. Key, what are the different components of this septic area? So let's start them one by one. So here you can see in this the many entries. Just suppose this is the entry. So many entries are of double door type. So we'll use double door system for several type of entries. And suppose this is the front, and from the front area there is a material entry. First point is the material entry point. Then there is clean changing room. And in this changing room, yes, this is a normal changing room in which a person can change his or her clothes, because we know there are special type of clothing should be there. In the previous video we have seen a particular type of clothing and covering should be there. So this is the changing room. Then this third one is the component entry. After that we have compounding and this preparation room. So as the name indicates, this is a preparation room. So preparation of any type of product or any type of pharmaceutical is done in this room, but it is generally intended for the primary work. Okay, suppose there in your laboratories also there is a preparation room is there. So suppose you are doing a practical of the microbiology. So you will prepare, you suppose you have to prepare the media. What you will do, you will go inside your preparation room and then prepare your media. Then you came out from the preparation room into the main lab. So this type of preparation rooms are there in the aseptic area too. So these are intended for the primary work intended for this particular purpose. So next is the production area. So where we have to produce is the packaging, filling of the drug, then packaging. Oh, and we use different type of sterilization methods in particular in this production area also. Next is the unidirectional cleaning zone is there. And why it is unidirectional? Because there is only one direction for entry and exit. Now there is a septic receiving area. Receiving area is there, and this is one is important, that is a quarantine area. And generally this is used for the storage purpose. So here your finished product, here your is a material entry, and here your finished product is there. The product is finished. Okay, and it will be stored in the quarantine, and then your product is exit. So this is the last step. This is your exit point. So this one is entry and this one is the exit point. And here is there is an entry for this quarantine zone. There is a special entry over here for this quarantine zone. Just see the flow of work, how this work should be take place inside this aseptic area. I will start this video, and you will see here there are different markings are done which indicate the this in this way. So in this way the work has been done in this particular aseptic area. So as you can see, material entry is there. So it is entering, first of all, entry. About entry we have a particular material entry, that is your, suppose your product is entered here at this point. So yes, we have a particular cleaning, or you can say the changing room should be there for the particular changing of the our clothes, so that we can enter inside the particular room. And then is the component entry point is there. This is the outflow. First of all, material is entered in the compounding and the preparation room. This is the primary work or the primary preparation room. And then we have a production area, and again it is a completely sterilized one. In case of, suppose in case of parenterals and in case of ophthalmic product, it is completely sterilized. But sometimes in case of, suppose you are preparing some ayurvedic powders or ayurvedic preparation, simple preparation of the ayurveda, that does not require the complete sterilization. Okay, you can manage by adopting the standard SOPs of the particular formulation. Now in this way, after that, this production area, we have a septic or the receiving area, then quarantine, and this is the product exit. So let's watch this video that is from the Bio Network. So I acknowledge this channel. So basically in this video, aseptic gowning of the product has been done. So let's watch this video. As you know, while entering into a particular aseptic area, first work is we have to wear specialized clothing, and there is a pattern of everything. There is a SOP of everything. You cannot just start putting your clothes, start off your clothes and start doing your work. So there is a particular SOP, and in this way we must have to know some of the aspects of this gowning procedure. That's why this video is highlighting the aseptic gowning for the clean room. So before entering in the clean room, you must have some gowning concept. So there is a basic gowning concept like be clean as possible. You must have to remove your clothing that you wear, your jewelries, your everything. Avoid contact with the surfaces is the most critical step. Also avoid contact with the garments, clothes, etc. So top to down approach of the gowning includes right from the top you have to prepare a particular assembly, then bottom up a particular shoes are there, inside out this whole you have to cover. If you see here, so again a very important concept, these gloves are also, goggles are also used along with everything. So the general gowning include the scarves, hair nets, bread covers, safety glasses, shoe covers, etc. So in this way we will enter in our aseptic area. So this is the way of doing a work in a particular lab, that in case is sterilized lab. So look at this. He wear a glove and he again sterilizes his hand with a particular antiseptic. So in this way this process has been initiated, and look at this. Each and everything is sterilized here. And why it is necessary? Because this aseptic gowning is there, hood, face mask, cover nail, everything should be sterilized. Because if in any step of production contamination occurs, because we know there are different type of sources of contamination, bacteria, viruses, they are everywhere. We cannot escape them, but we can limit them, we can restrict them. So that's why we have to adopt these type of techniques while doing in any pharmaceutical plant, while generally dealing with the aseptic techniques. In this way we can see in the video that there are different type of clothing should be preferred. From top to bottom approach is generally used, covering of different type of clothing are used in this case also. So this is a very tedious task, and this is not a very simple task. So one must follow all the procedures or all the SOPs that are required for this purpose of the cleaning. So in the last, I acknowledge all the sources I've used. So I hope you must have a brief idea now about the septic area. So thank you for your valuable time. I welcome you all in the next video tutorial of the septic area. So in this video tutorial, we are going to see yet another time what are the different requirements of designing an aseptic area. Suppose you have to design an aseptic area. What do you need? Just you need different type of things. What's that? Let's start. So the production of these trial products, so in the pharmaceutical industry, generally the parenteral products, ophthalmic products, tablet capsule, we need each and every product, we need trial conditions. So aseptic area has a wide range of importance. So production of this trial product should be carried out in a clean environment within a limit for environmental quality of the microbial. Yes, we cannot say that this is 100% microbial free. We cannot say that. Even in case of HEPA filter, we are saying that it's a 99% or 99 point something is there. But we cannot say that it is 100% free from contamination. Your preparation, your article is 100% free. No. So there is a limit for everything, limit for microorganism. So this limit is the contamination is necessary to reduce the product contamination. And your production area where you have to produce your particular product is divided into various areas like the cleanup area, compounding area, aseptic area, quarantine area, packaging, and the labeling area. So here is an overview of yet another flow diagram of the aseptic area. You can find here in office airlock system, door entry should be airlock system should be there, so that we cannot, airlock it means nothing. सपोज आपने कोई दरवाज़ा, जब हम घरों में जाते हैं हम क्या करते हैं, अपने हाथों से दरवाजे को खोलते हैं और कई बार उसको बंद भी करते हैं। एयर लॉक सिस्टम में ऑटोमेटिकली लॉक अपने आप दरवाज़ा खुलेगा और बंद होगा। इट्स अ वेरी सिंपल टर्म एक्चुअली। Then you can see here office is there, stock room, cleanup area is there, then this compounding section is there. And here is another important thing, there is a QC lab is also there, because in every pharmaceutical house this QC lab is mandatory. What is this QC lab? Why I am saying this quality control lab? Because suppose किसी pharmaceutical company ने कोई product बनाया, उनके पास एक अपना लैब रहेगी जिसमें उस प्रोडक्ट की टेस्टिंग करेंगे डिपेंडिंग अपॉन द फॉर्मुलेशन। सपोज आपने टेबलेट बनाई तो टेबलेट के क्वालिटी कंट्रोल टेस्टिंग पैरामीटर्स आर डिफरेंट देन कैप्सूल्स। इन द सेम वे क्वालिटी कंट्रोल ऑफ द पेरेंटल्स ऑप्थेल्मिक्स आर डिफरेंट। तो देयर इज अ urgent requirement, we can say the utmost important step is the quality control, in-house quality control laboratory of a particular pharmaceutical industry. Yes, of course. Next is the storage and shipping. So what is this cleanup section? Look at this here. What is this section? That is cleanup section. So this cleaning up section has walls and ceiling made up of film coating materials. Okay, and the air inside this clean area should be free from dust and microorganisms. And how it is ensured? It is ensured by using HEPA filters. Next is this one, compounding area. So this area contains stainless steel cabinets and counters, and it is involved in the actual compounding. Okay, this is again a very important component. Next is the aseptic area, very important, this one, aseptic area. In this area, strict control measures should be adopted to avoid any type of contamination. We use stainless steel countertops, cabinets should be there such that they should not allow dirt particles to accumulate. And the mixing and storage of the compounded formulation should be done outside the aseptic area, should be done over here. That is the compounding or the preparation area. Okay, and the compounded formulation are then transferred to the aseptic area through pipelines where the filling operation is carried out. So this is very important, critical step. Next is the quarantine section. This is again important section. This is the quarantine section. So let's see what is this section. So this area consists of a store where the in-process batches as well as the approved batches of a particular product are stored separately. So this is a storage section basically. But this area has a limited access and is under the control of a responsible person. Okay. So how your packing and the labeling section should be. So let's see here again, your packaging and the finishing section is there. So in this area, the batches are packed and labeled, and the packing is carried out by the packaging machines. We have proper packaging machine, while at a time only one product or labels are printed. Okay, and the packaging should be carried out in such a manner that the sterility of the product is maintained. Okay, so we have to avoid any in-process contamination of our formulation. So floors, walls and ceilings, how they are important? Yes, they are very important. All the clean surface including the floor, walls and ceiling must be smooth and easy to clean so that they could easily be disinfected, okay, so as to avoid any contamination. Suppose if you talk about the flexing floor material, so we will use the PVC, that is the polyvinyl chloride flooring is preferred. Okay, and the wall should be made up of a non-inflammable or a fire-resistant material. Particularly, we use the stainless steel, glass, enameled steel, etc. And for the reduction of any fungal growth, we use different type of disinfectants also. And nowadays, epoxy resin paints are also used to avoid any cracking and peeling, because any type of cracking can lead to contamination. How? Maybe any type of microorganism can penetrate through any holes if they are present, or any crack if they are present. So we have to avoid this type of things also. So what are the importance of the doors, windows and services here? Yes, they are very important. How? because doors and windows should fit flush with the walls. Okay, and it should not be non-openable. It is general understanding, general and common thing. If you have an open window, maybe you will open a window and the air will go inside your septic area and it will contaminate whole your assembly. Okay, and it will also cost you because all the instruments are very costly. HEPA filter is worth rupees more than lakhs. Okay, so all the pipes passing through the walls should be effectively sealed, and gas cylinder should be excluded, and all the gases should be piped from an outside area. We have only the piping inside, we cannot put cylinder inside our aseptic area. Sinks and drain must be included from this area, particularly where you will follow aseptic procedures. So sinks and drain, there is another section, preparation section might require this draining system, but it should be avoided in your aseptic area. Yes, no essential switches are required. Wherever possible, avoid these switches. Most importantly, you have also seen the video now, protective clothing and the personnel. So only the skilled personnel should be there to carry out all the procedure, and all the personnel should be trained for the good manufacturing practices as well as the aseptic practices. Yes, you will wear particular headwear, powder free, rubber or the plastic gloves, face mask, footwear, etc. And all your clothing must be sterilized by moist heat, or you will use ethylene oxide also for your sterilization of your clothings. Yes, see this image. Yes, disinfection. Use different type of disinfection for the cleaning purpose, like quaternary ammonium compound, sodium hypochlorite, ethanol, formaldehyde solution. They are generally used as a disinfectant. Of course, for the air supply, you need HEPA filters, and that will provide us 99.97 free microbial air. Yes, for laminar, we have already covered horizontal as well as the vertical laminar airflow. So this is the vertical laminar airflow, okay, and this one is the horizontal. So what is the main component in the laminar flow? Watch the previous video. Yes, HEPA filter is there, pre-filter is there, so air will go inside this working station that is completely free from microorganisms. So I hope now you have an idea about the aseptic area. I acknowledge all the sources I have used, especially SlideShare, and thank you for your patience again. I welcome you all in the next video tutorial of the aseptic area. So in this video tutorial, we are going to see the sources of contamination in the aseptic area and what are the general methods to prevent it. So the contamination is generally, we can say, the presence of a unwanted particulate matter. So it may be bacteria, virus, fungi, or maybe a dust. And the most common source of contamination fall into various categories like atmospheric contamination, fluid contamination, and while handling or transfer contaminants are also. So if we talk about the atmospheric contamination, what happened? Atmospheric condition during the manufacturing as well as during storage affect the quality of your final preparation. The atmosphere in and around that industrial area contain different type of pollutants, because we know atmosphere is having carbon dioxide, water vapor is very crucial factor. If you suppose you have to prepare the powders, then special care should be taken to handle the moisture. Okay, besides this, there are different type of contaminants like Pseudomonas aeruginosa and Aspergillus niger is there. So these contaminants may get incorporated to your product and it will cause disruption in your process of production. And how to prevent it, we have already covered in the previous part. There are different type of methods for the prevention. Particularly for the air, we use HEPA filters. So next type of contamination is a fluid contamination, and we use different type of solvents. We know we use water in the industry, and although what happened, just read this, besides serving the most common solvent in the pharmaceutical industry, water also serves as the greatest solvent in the pharmaceutical industry. We cannot use ordinary water in the industry. Okay, we use special type of potable waters in the industry, and although it is deprived of most of the contaminant, but water contains pyrogens, traces of sulfate, chlorides, carbonates of the calcium, magnesium, sodium. These might become the source of impurities also. Okay, so therefore the usage of water for washing the machinery in the working area may leave traces of these contaminants. Okay, so special care should be taken while using this solvent. So what we will do? Yes, how to prevent it? We use purified water, we use distilled water, we using different process for this, that we use osmosis. RO water is preferred, reverse osmosis, filtration is done, and the for preparation of parenterals, water for injection, or you can say sterile water is used. Next part in the contaminants is the transfer contaminants. What do you mean by this transfer? So while transferring, just read this. Transfer contaminant refer to contaminants sourced from personal and wheels of trolleys used to transport your goods. For example, person working in the septic area, if he or she is suffering from cold symptoms, allergy, or any other type of dermatological conditions, what happened there? It will lead to contamination. What happened? How to prevent it? Gowning is done. Head cap, gloves, foot cover, face mask, goggles, everything should be used. And always remember one thing, all the apparatuses and their carriers being carried to the septic area should be sterilized. You cannot directly enter in the septic area with your shoes or with any trolley or any transfer media. You have to sterilize that first. So I hope this is clear. Now we have covered this topic. We have covered the designing of the septic area. We have covered this in the previous part, that is the laminar airflow, as well as we have studied about the different sources of the contamination in the septic area, and of course the method for the prevention. Okay, so this topic is complete. So we have also covered the clean area concept also. So let's recall again. So let's recall again the concept of clean area. So clean rooms are classified according to the number and the size of particles permitted per volume of air. Okay, for example, large numbers like class 100 or class 1000 refer to this particular FED STD 209E, and it denotes the number of the particles of size 0.5 micrometer. Okay, it denotes the number of particle of size 0.5 micrometer or larger that is permitted per cubic foot of air. Okay, and over here you can see this classification that is classified by US FDA, that is United States Food and Drug Administration, on the sterile drug products. So this is the clean area classification, that 100, clean area 100, 1000, 10,000 and 1 lakh. See here, particle size that is permitted less than 0.5 micrometer, and it is per cubic feet. See again, that's why it is written per cubic foot of air. So for class 100 area it is 100, and class 1000 area it is 1000. In the same way, you can see that is the particle size less than 0.5 micrometer particles per meter cube. It varies. For 100 class area it is 3500, okay, that is 3500, and for 1000 class area it is 35,000. In the same way it proceeds. And what is the limit of the microbiological limit here? That is the colony forming unit of the microorganism per cubic feet and cubic meter. It is for cubic feet, it is, that is colony forming unit for the microorganism, it is less than 1. It should be less than 2 for 1000. So this is the classification of the clean room as per United States Food and Drug Administration guidelines on the sterile drug products. So you have to remember this classification. Now we have completed this topic. We have completed this entire section. So in the next lecture we are going to start this part, that is the about the microbiological assay of different antibiotics, vitamins, amino acids, etc. So thank you for your patience in listening. In the last, I acknowledge all the sources I have used for preparation of this video, and I request you do not share this video in any platform. Thank you.